Yeah, so Medicine Encompass, as you probably saw through what I submitted in the application, what I like to describe it as is, I guess, like a multifaceted network because, like, as the name implies, we're not just like focused on medicine, but also what it encompasses. And I think that's a really, I guess, like good, like double take or like a good play on words because, as you also might have seen, we don't just encompass like what medicine is just as like a generality, such as like the branches of medicine or just like healthcare in general, but I think a really good point to grasp with like what it encompasses is like the skill sets and like the different like diverse backgrounds that everyone from our team has. So I guess like taking that point into consideration because we do pretty much grasp like I guess like the interdisciplinary nature of like medicine and like our students is we really just use this as a way to keep propelling like more initiatives to really just increase like healthcare literacy as well as just the educational aspect as well. So in a way, like this has allowed us to like branch out into a lot of different like global areas. So like we've hit like a pretty good amount of countries and I think we've hit like all like inhabited continents. Um this also includes like a really diverse array of initiatives as well. So I think a really good one to pinpoint is our STEAM-based curricula, which we've been working on since pretty much our inception of the organization. We're still like currently ironing out like our mentorship program with an organization, the Harvard Pre-Med Society. So I think that's a pretty good way to just like get students involved and really just I guess like network with other like age groups in medicine, really just to like integrate as many people as possible and bring them together and pretty much make it like a peer-to-peer learning experience. And yeah, with that said, I think that's a really big point that like we really push through in our organization. I guess other than that, through our initiatives, we also like to spearhead like DEI values, so like diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as I said, like I've really just been surrounded like in my township alone by really this like diverse offering and like demographic of a lot of social and like ethnic groups. So I really think that shaped my values and my emphasis on like really just like including as many people as possible because like it's really vital to recognize that like with like working with diverse groups like along this pipeline like you can really just get as many like diverse perspectives and backgrounds as much as possible, which I think just really like strengthens like your overall like group's abilities and all of that. So that's really what we try to demonstrate through our initiatives and how we try to like really reflect upon our impact. All right, yeah, so I guess really just like I guess there are two sides to this, which I would probably explain. So first, we have like the traditional side, obviously like having the capacity to like recognize problems and like corresponding solutions in our community. But I'd say that one thing I also like to mention, and like I guess like the founding story of all of this is that since I technically co-founded this initiative with my co-founder, like we've always just been like a dynamic duo. So really been able to like bounce off of each other when building this much of a community. And since our like skill sets and like ideas seem to like dovetail with each other, I feel like that was really like a pretty big formula in building it up or building our organization up to what it is today. But yeah, I guess going back to that like traditional approach, like really just like aligning with a bunch of diverse ideas from like a bunch of our students and even like the people we work closely with. Um I guess like as like our stages progress, we've really just been trying to identify more of what like our community needs or what our target demographic like specifically like is like really spearheading towards. So I guess like even taking it into like today's perspective with like the pandemic and stuff and like seeing how like opportunities and all this networking was kind of like restricted, we've tried to actually just build that network, really just recognizing that like if you like recognize a solution or a problem and you want like a certain solution to be really propelled, like sometimes it's necessary to actually take initiative into your own hands and really just build it up from the ground up yourself. So that's really where the foundation of it stands. Yeah, so I'd say locally this can have like multiple interpretations, but the way I see it like locally is really just like peer to peer. I'd say that I can speak probably more on like the national and like international scale just because again with that like DEI like values, I think that's really just been like the sprouting like factor and really just branching out to like as many like global areas and like countries and just like their establishments as possible. So I'd say yeah, for like the local part, it would probably be just that importance of like peer-to-peer networking and seeing how like-minded students can really just like I guess like catalyze those same ideas together. I guess from like a national level, like obviously we've been recognized from that scale, but I really think that I guess like going back to like peer to peer, since like I guess like a national scale really covers like a lot more like depth and a lot more scope, seeing that like you're basically like gaining the perspectives of like students all over the country, obviously with all different backgrounds. I think that plays like a huge role in kind of like diversifying like our initiatives and what we have to offer through like our ideas and how exactly we serve that. And I guess from an international scale, I'd say it's basically the same concept but expanded even more since you're basically getting like the like perceptions of students from an even wider scale. You basically have more of like an opportunity and more of a space to really just foster that like diverse and like include as like even more perspectives as possible. So I think that all like collectively contributes to like what our organization stands on. Oh, that's kind of, I mean, I'd say one of our initiatives within our org, so it's called Project Cultivation. I'd say it probably has to be one of my favorite initiatives, or just like in general, like one of my favorite parts of the project so far, because again, kind of integrating that, like my whole like emphasis on DEI. I mean, I think like with Project Cultivation, that's been like our like main like direct impact point per se, because it's really just allowed us to form like direct like interaction with students because like even though it's like conducted virtually where we like present all of these like seminars or like presentations to them, I really think that just like building that like personal interaction with them even from students around the world. So we've done like a few events and like with like New York City schools, and I know we did one with a few schools in the Philippines as well. I think that um really just like interacting with as many like students as possible and getting that like direct perspective, it really just I guess like makes more of like an imprint and like really just engraves like the message that we're trying to like instill in them even more. So yeah, that's kind of why like Project Cultivation is one of my favorites. Yeah, I mean, I'd say just like leading this org, it's I guess like really like honed upon my character in a lot of different aspects. I mean, because you I guess like you usually characterize like a leader as someone that has like a lot of willpower, is very like outgoing and really understands like their demographic and like their targets well, and they obviously have like a concrete outline in mind. And I'd say like before that I was like a lot of people would consider me as like a much more timid person, but I feel like really just like that development along the way and really just like having to have that strong character for leadership, it I guess like it really just solidified those aspects because now I know like what my intentions are, like they're more clear. And I think that even like leading this org with like a main focus in like medicine has like personally helped me in that career aspect to just like know that, oh, this is something I really want to go to. Like this is actually something I'm passionate about. And even though like I guess like medicine has its own like technical aspects in a way, like I'm still building like those soft and hard skills in a sense because like obviously they have to like understand like who they're treating and like just I guess like really build up those like soft characteristics and even like those like I guess just essential skills in like the workforce. So I'd say that it's really been like a multi-dimensional like impact for me. Mm, actually, yeah, I would say that like other than medicine, I'm really big on even just like the business and like entrepreneurship field. And obviously to build like a project like this and to expand it as big of a scale as we have today. Like obviously you need some like you need to like appeal to like your audience and really like just draw them in. So like I guess like what you serve and like the benefits that it will give them. So I guess just like connecting like my skills and like interest in like entrepreneurship and being able to like captivate my audience and really just like I guess like tailor our initiatives towards like the needs of our audiences really like integrated with each other well. Mm, actually, yeah, like now that I think about it, I guess this really just sprouts from the fact that like throughout this project I've always just had in my mind like the idea that like oh like age doesn't really like defy that like the success that you'll have or like age doesn't defy like I guess like how much of like a concrete impact you can make. So I guess that really just brings us to the question of like how can of course like young people just like defy that like barrier because I feel like it's like an instilled like notion that like oh because like of your young age that you can't like accomplish as much as like someone with like extensive experience but I think it's really important to just like I guess just like break that factor and like break that glass ceiling. So again, like it brings us to like how can young people like get rid of that notion and like really just like bring out their passion to like do what they want or not like do what they want and like I guess like making an impact in the community. Like what resources do they further need or like what support system do they need to really just like bring themselves more out there. Yeah, so I guess when I graduate high school, I'm assuming at, like at this point, or I guess like at the rate that our org is expanding, that we're probably gonna have like much more of like a honed like structure and um yeah, like leadership structure and how like initiatives are being executed. So I guess because of that and because of like how we're like gradually building up like our professionalism and really just bringing ourselves out there into like the like work sphere and like student networking and everything like that. I guess like after high school, I really just like envision us like I guess like forming like partnerships even to really expand our impact and what we and like the message that we further hope to like really engrave in our students like minds and their experiences. So yeah, I'd say like collaborations and like coordinating even more projects, like large scale projects to like really make our mark on like the community. I mean, I really see that happening. I'd say that because like our team is well, yeah, like primarily like student based because students like obviously like an org like this wouldn't be their first priority like in the sense that they have like academics and other commitments to like fulfill first. So I guess like an improvement would really just really like help manage or like assist in like more effective management or really just like allocating like the like right amount of like responsibilities and like time for like some of our students as I kind of suggested really just to help them like I guess like fit it more in like their schedule and help them see that like even like I guess like yeah, help them see that like their contributions can like somehow fit and still like make as much as an impact as like I guess they would just being committed to the project.